makers. Today I'm super excited. I have Brayand Ponciano, owner of Recession-Proof Investments. He's a multi-family real estate investor. He's a philanthropist, and in his social media, he calls himself an adventurer and an explorer. Brother, I know you're super busy. You're doing a lot of deals. Thank you so much for your time. How are you?
I am fucking amazing. How you doing?
That's good, man. That's good. That's awesome. So you're in Arizona right now. By the way, follow this guy at Cashflow Creator on Instagram and social media. I met you at the Miami Millionaires Mastermind here in Miami a few weeks ago, man. We had a great conversation. We had a great talk about multifamily investments and how did you start, man? One of the biggest things is how you start. What got you into real estate investing?
What got me into real estate investing is that the only thing that I could think of to make money that was legal, where I could make a nice chunk of money and not have to worry about anything else. So my first introduction to real estate, initially I thought I wanted to be a realtor, but quickly I got introduced to wholesaling.
Okay.
And once I realized that I could actually make up money, I could literally make it up on a piece of paper like this and just write out a assignment contract. And here in Arizona, we use option contracts, or at least we did back then. We used option contracts to lock up a property. So basically, an option contract says, I'm not legally required to buy your property, but you do give me the option to buy it at this price within these few days. So normally I would let them know, hey, I need to make sure that I have a buyer, or I need to make sure that I have the money to buy your property. So give me these few days, and I'll be back. And anyway, I just turned around and sold that contract, this piece of paper. I sold it to somebody else. They paid me for that paper, and the first time that I did that, I made $5,000, and I was like, holy shit, this is real.
That's
So
awesome.
I grew up very poor, so I never, ever, ever, ever at that point in my life had even close to $5,000 in my bank account ever.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, tell me a little bit about who you are. What do you do? I said at the beginning you're a multi-family real estate investor, but you're also a wholesaler. What are you? How did you become the person that you are today, or the investor that you are today?
Well, I started off as a wholesaler. I am now a multifamily investor. But honestly, if I can attest one thing to where it got me where I was at, is focusing on my mindset, which
Okay.
is something that me and Ramon, who was the guy that ran the mastermind, something that me and him have very much in common. We spent a lot of time working up here,
Yeah.
working on your thoughts, working on your feelings, working on your emotions, controlling your emotions, not letting your thoughts dictate your life, not letting your doubts dictate your life. All of these things, I've probably been heavily in personal development for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've been in the business for about 13 years.
Yeah.
And I can attest every single time when I went from wholesaling to fixing and flipping, when I went from fixing and flipping one house to fixing and flipping multiple houses, to eventually fixing and flipping 15 houses at one time, to eventually moving and saying, nah, I'm done with all that shit and moving into multifamily. It's all been the mindset. It's all really been just focusing. And you know what it is? It's called The Compound Effect, which is a book that I love reading by Darren Hardy. And he talks about these little tiny things that you do over and over and over and over that nobody notices, that you do when nobody's looking. Those are the things that produce the biggest results. And a lot of times people, like investors, like to brag about how many doors they knock, how many phone calls they send, how many fucking mailers they send out. They love bragging about that, but they never focus on the inner self. They never focus on the self. They're always focusing on the how. How do I do this? How do I get more leads? How do I close more deals? How do I get more money? They never focus on the why. And if you're not focused on the why, you're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And by the way, that book, I finished it about 2 weeks ago. It was an awesome book. So it's very recent in my mind. It's a great book, and it talks about not just whatever you do, but it also, like, it talks about every aspect of your life. And that was a great book, man. Awesome. That's great. You're in Arizona. Tell me a little bit about your market. What are you focusing on? What is your market? What is your niche? What are you buying right now? What are you acquiring right now?
Well, here's the great thing about me is that I don't give a shit about the rules. So only because I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, does not mean that I'm buying in Phoenix. Actually, I completely stopped doing most things in Phoenix, Arizona. One of the reasons why I love multifamily is it doesn't matter what the fuck is going on in Phoenix, Arizona. I can buy properties nationwide. So I've actually bought a few properties nationwide. I got a few properties outside the state. I got a few properties here in the state, but I don't have any properties. Well, I have one fourplex in my local market. Outside of that, I don't care. I don't keep anything here, and it's just any major metropolitan area is just going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
The cash flow, the cap rates. Yeah, I believe you're in southern Florida and the Miami area.
Yeah.
You know how it is. The cap rates are just very low
Yeah.
compared to buying somewhere else. Like my apartment complex in Arkansas, I bought that. It was 27 units, and I bought that motherfucker for 350,000 or 300,000, somewhere around that. Somewhere, I think it was like 350,000, something like that. Like, dude, you probably can't even get a fucking house in Miami for 350,000. You probably some condos you might not even be able to get for 350,000.
Yeah. Maybe a small 3-2 with no pool, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so anyway, like I said, it doesn't really matter what's going on in my market, and that's the great thing about real estate. Whether you're buying multifamily or whether you're doing virtual wholesaling, your own market doesn't dictate. So people watching right now, if you're because here's what happens: you got two excuses. Oh, well, I live in a small town and there's really no deals to be done here, so I can't do any real estate. Or the second one, which is more popular. Oh man, my market is just so overwhelmed, so flooded. Everybody's doing deals in my market. It's so hard to get a deal out there. Bullshit. Those are both fucking lies.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work in your market, you can find many other markets to fucking work on.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit of how you handle. I'm also getting into. I got into the Detroit market as well from here, from managing from here, from South Florida. Tell me a little bit about how. What are some tips or tricks about how do you manage properties? How do you do the acquisition? How do you do your inspection when you're being offered a property from out of your comfort zone? I wouldn't say out of your comfort zone, out of your area.
Out of your area? So basically, first of all, you have to know what you're looking for. There's, many things could be a deal. It may not be a deal for you.
Okay.
And that all depends on where you're getting your money, how much you're paying for your money, what you're willing to do, what your capacity for risk is, all of these things. So anyway, once you know what that is, then you can underwrite the property correctly. So I know for a fact that if I need a property comes in multifamily, I need to be getting double-digit cap off the bat before I even look at it. So if you come up to me and say, "Hey, Brian, I got this good deal, man. It's an 8 cap." Stop. I don't even want to hear it. It doesn't matter where the conversation goes from there. Yes, I'm sure that some other person might like that deal, but to me, that just doesn't fit my criteria. So anyway, that's what I do initially. I just make sure that it fits my criteria. Once I do that, then we run all the numbers and we check all the financials. So basically, with people there, what happens is that they're going to tell you, "Man, my property makes X amount of money. My expenses are X amount." But we all know that sellers are fucking liars.
Yeah.
So you have to verify that. Okay, well, show me proof that you're actually making this much money. Where's your bank statements? Give me your P&Ls. Give me your fucking taxes for the last 2 years. And the expenses. Show me proof that you're actually paying this much. Because, dude, a lot of times they just make shit up. A lot of times they just make shit up based on what they think is going to sound good. So you have to verify all that.
Do you request all this information before you even fly there? Do you fly to see the properties?
Fuck no. Why the fuck am I going to fly over there if these motherfuckers won't even give me their financial information?
Okay, but the next question is, so let's say everything fits the criteria, they're able to prove everything, they're able to show you everything. Do you fly to these areas to before closing so you know what you're buying?
Of course, yeah. So when you're locking up, especially the big difference between single family and multifamily is that single family is the slow game. And this is how you know somebody doesn't know shit about multifamily. Hey, I got this apartment. You need to lock it up tomorrow, and they're looking to close by next week. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Because you don't have enough time to dig through everything.
Absolutely.
And when it's bigger properties, bigger units, bigger number of doors, there's a lot of different places where people can hide shit. So you come in there, you have to set up what's known as your inspection period and your due diligence period. This is the time where I get to do my due diligence. I get to verify all this stuff. You're telling me this. I'm calling the the local company, the local electric company, the local water company, the local insurance company, verifying all the shit that you're telling me that's going on. Mm-hmm. However, though, once all that verifies, now I actually have to go to the inspection. I actually have to fly out there. And normally what I do is I'll hire an inspector, but I'll go personally look at the property myself.
Okay.
So I'll go look at the property myself, and then we'll hire the inspector and say, hey, we need you to go in there and give it a once-over. So we'll look at it to make sure that, hey, this fits what we need. Okay, you look at all the major stuff. All right, cool. That from the outside, from the perspective, the outer perspective, it looks good. Now let's send the professional inspector in there, and he's going to check all the shit that we may not have found. But yeah, I do fly out there. However, though, I only fly out there if it meets the criteria that I'm looking for.
Exactly. Now, talk to me about financing. How do you finance these properties? Do you do? I'm sure you can leverage as much as you can, but tell me a little bit about how you do it, how you've done it. Owner finance, or regular banks, or hard money loan, or your money from your own pocket. Tell me a little bit how you fund all these transactions, or what's your strategy?
So basically, with all the properties that I've gotten, I haven't put any dollar in my own pocket. So every single deal that I've done has been zero money out of my pocket. The majority of my apartment complexes I bought through seller financing.
Okay.
So there was a loan in place, or the seller didn't owe anything on the property, and he just said, hey, come in with X amount of money down, and you can make payments for whatever. And every term was different. My first apartment complex, the guy wanted 20% down, and then he wanted however many percentage that he wanted, right? He had owned this property for a while. You know, the great thing about multifamily and commercial is that the sellers are a lot more sophisticated. Now, if he bought this apartment complex 10 years ago, he bought it for the purpose of cash flowing, for him to bring money. Now, when he does seller financing, he's able to cash flow. Like, you know, he gets a few grand a month that I pay him every single month, and he amortized my loan for the next 15 years. So basically, for the next 15 years, I'm paying X amount a month, and then I'll pay it all down. That includes my interest and everything. So anyway, that's the way that I did that. I have another one right now where the guy did seller financing. Also, he required a little bit more down. He's not amortizing the loan. He's giving me an interest-only loan, but at a very, very low rate. Okay. And he's giving me, so it's at a 5.5% for 5 years interest only, which make my payments really, really low. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to pay down my actual amount. However, within those 5 years, it's going to allow me to fix the property, stabilize it, fill it all up, do everything that I need to, and more than likely, I will refinance before I pull out of that. And then my Arkansas deal, I've actually I put together some investors. So I had a few investors that were already working with me, the people that were already lending me money back when I was doing fix and flips. And I just said, hey guys, I got this opportunity. Would you guys like to buy into my LLC so we can go buy this apartment complex?
That was my next question. The 20, the 25, the 30% that you have to come out of your pocket. So you give them interest on their money, or you give them a partnership on the deal?
Depends on the deal. There is like my latest deal. They're strictly just buying into my LLC.
That's awesome.
So for example, they come in and they're for this one we needed $500,000. Me and my business partner were willing to give up half of the company. So we put it out there and said, hey, for every $100,000 that anybody donates, you get 10% of the company.
Okay.
So you get 10% of, you get 10% of profits. Now, if we don't make any profits, obviously you don't make any profits. If we make profits, then you make profits, but then you also continue owning 10% of the property. So once we refinance, you'll get your money back. However, you still continue getting profits. And then if you do sell, when we sell or whatever that is, then you also get your percentage on that. However, on a previous deal, one of my first deals that I did, I said, hey, I'm going to give you a preferred return. So I'm going to guarantee you that we're making at least 6% return on your money. Okay. Plus you get the upside in the back end.
Okay.
So it just depends on the deal. Once again, every single deal is different depending on how you structure the financing, where you're able to connect the pieces together. And those pieces may come in forms of loans. may come in forms of hard money loans, may come in forms of private money loans, may come in forms of private money investors, memorandums, syndication. It just depends on what wheelhouse you're looking to go.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Now, you come from, you're Latino like me, and on my YouTube channel, I have on Fridays, I have something that I call Shit Happens, which is something that people are liking a lot, man. I'm trying to be as raw and as real as possible by sharing the bad and the ugly. Everybody, I'm tired of fakers online just sharing the good things that happen in their business. I want to share the bad and the ugly, which leads me to the question for you. What has been one of your biggest obstacles or one of your biggest challenges or something that you say, shit happened, oh my God, but what did you learn from it? One deal that fell through, one relationship that you lost, one deposit that you lost or something, one
So
crazy shit that happened to you.
I had a deal back when I was wholesaling, and I had literally I was just starting my first flip.
Okay.
So I'm doing a flip. I found a JV partner for this one. So this lady who I had wholesaled the properties to for a while, she says, "Hey, I'm 30 something years old. I just got married. It turns out I'm fucking pregnant, and I don't feel like working right now. Like I don't really feel like doing anything. So I have money from my family that they're needing me to turn. Would you be interested in doing some deals or whatever?" I got the property from her. I'm borrowing her money about, I don't know, 3 months into the project, because it was a big project. 3 months into the project, I got a wholesale deal. The wholesale deal had a bankruptcy attached to it. So I call, I lock it up, and I was like, fuck, we found out there's got a bankruptcy. I'm like, shit. I already had it sold. The buyer's title company said, you know what, we can insure against the bankruptcy. My title company said, hey, when you buy it, we can't insure against the bankruptcy, so you'll take over title, but there'll still be the bankruptcy on the title. The second leg of the title companies, they said, hey man, we can do that if you just buy it, so you have to like actually close on it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll insure against the bankruptcy, because the way that we see it, that person's dead, there's no way in hell they're coming back, like it's all good. So I borrow money from my lender, the lady who's partnering up with me on the fix and flip. I borrow money from her, and I use it to go buy this property. And I'm like, hey, Robin, I'll have that money back to you in like 2 days. Like, it's bought, it's already sold. Boom, 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 we're all fucking done. I buy this motherfucker, I close on it. The fucking next title company says, oh, you know what? We just talked to our underwriter, and he says that they're not going to insure against the bankruptcy.
Oh, God.
So now I have a fucking property with a bankruptcy that I can't sell.
Okay.
And I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to do, man. I have no idea. Now, what happens was that this particular person that let me borrow the money, that money was already allocated for something else. She had already promised somebody something else. And because she knew me and stuff, she was like, oh, well, BP's good for it. He's going to give me for 2-3 days to have his money back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any way to get that money. I didn't have any place, anywhere to borrow that money from. I didn't know what the fuck to do, man. And she really needed that money. She called me pretty much every fucking day, every other day. Did you hear anything? How's it going? When am I getting my money? What's going on? Did you hear anything from the title company? Bro, I called everybody that I knew. I called every fucking realtor. I called every fucking investor. I called every wholesaler. I called every title company. Anybody, like, just connect me with anybody who may know anything that I might be able to do. It was a 3-week fiasco, bro. 3 weeks.
What happened?
Well, here's what ended up happening is that I got tired, and I keep on looking over here because, let me show you guys here. This is a bottle of Moet. I got tired of dealing with this shit, and I got tired of feeling like shit. So I decided to, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm just going to stop worrying about it. It's going to work itself out. I didn't do this maliciously. I didn't lie to nobody. I didn't cheat nobody. This is just something that happened. You know, shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. It is what it is. I went to Costco that day and I bought some food and I saw this bottle of champagne, this bottle of Moet. So I actually bought it and I said, I'm going to put this shit here right on my desk and I'm going to sit it here and I'm going to look at it every single fucking day, knowing that I'm going to pop this motherfucker when I solve that. About 2-3 days later, I finally found a title company that said, oh yeah, no, we're able to definitely insure against this. And it's a title company that, it was one of my title companies that I had personally used. Some guy was on vacation, finally came back and said, "Oh yeah, no, we can easily handle that. That's no big deal." They knew my investor, so anyway, man, that all happened. That all worked out. And honestly, I keep this shit as a reminder. This happened, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. But I keep this as a reminder that no matter how hard the challenge is, I can always figure it out. No matter how uneasy it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how impossible it seems. Dude, because I was broke. I didn't even I couldn't sell anything. There was nothing that I would have. If I had a car to sell that was going to fucking give me those 50,000 just to give this lady back her 50,000 and then it was going to be my problem and I'll figure it out, I would have done that, but I couldn't.
That's
So this is a
awesome.
reminder that fucking it don't matter how big the problem is, I'll be able to figure it out.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, brother, it's been, I told you it's going to be short and sweet, guys. If you like the content, subscribe to the Cash Flow Talk channel below. Hit that subscribe button and let me know what you're doing. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Post them here so Brian can answer them for you guys as well. Brian, I told you it was going to be short and sweet. Thank you so much for your time, bro. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for for the tips that you gave me at the Miami Mastermind, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope to be like you one day, brother.
I appreciate that. And for anybody out there listening who wants to connect with me, once again, you can reach me on my social media at Cashflow Creator on Instagram. And I give you that because I'm pretty much booked out on my Facebook. I already hit the 5,000 many times. So anyway, at Cashflow Creator is just the easiest way to get with me. However, if you do like this content and you want to hear more of this content, you can come check out my podcast, Flipping Fridays. You can find that on iTunes. You can find that on Spotify. You can find that on Podbean. But if you want to join the live show, because we actually run a live show, which eventually we record, we pull the audio into the podcast, Facebook.com/AZ like Arizona Flip Guys. Every Friday at noon Arizona time, we do a live show where we have all kinds of different guests. So I don't know if you remember the guy sitting next to me, Dan Z, Dan Satowski. He's our guest this week, dude, and we're talking about creating notes and creating true passive income where you literally don't do shit. This guy's a straight fucking genius. Anyway, guys, if you guys are interested in that, you can check us out live, Facebook.com/AZ Flip Guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure that you check us a live show. And if you want to catch the podcast, the replay, the recorded replay, you can find us under Flipping Fridays.
That's awesome, man. I actually interviewed that guy on Monday, so it's also going to go live on my YouTube channel in a few weeks.
Great guy, Brian, yeah. I've known him before. I've known him for a few years.
Yeah,
awesome, man.
Yeah, great guy again, and amazing content. Hey, Brian, quick shout out to my channel, man. Give me a quick shout out to my channel, man. Tell the viewers to subscribe to my YouTube Cashflow Talk channel.
All right. Hey, guys, so if you want to go out there, you want to get some content, you want to get some good value, make sure you subscribe to the Cashflow content channel. God damn it.
Cashflow Talk.
I just got tongue-tied. Say that again.
Cashflow Talk.
Cashflow Talk. All right.
Hey, no worries, man. Hey, thank you so much for your time, brother. I'll let you go. I know you're super busy. You got some shit to do, and you got another bottle of champagne possibly ready to be popped after this week, after your refinance on that multifamily that you've been working on.
Yeah, man. We should be, by the end of this week, I should be popping another bottle of champagne.
That's awesome.
And definitely, I said, guys, if you guys are, it seems like you're interviewing a lot of great people. I know that just from that mastermind that we were in Miami, there was a room of like 20 awesome people that should have gave you a whole bunch of content. So anyway, yeah, make sure that you guys check that out, man. Cashflow Show. Make sure you guys check that out. Subscribe, like, comment, everything else that you need to.
You got it, man. Brian, thank you so much for your time, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, take care, man.